I want to give you an example of why it's so important for a person with scrupulosity to take the risk to do the exposures. OCD wants to hijack their faith and say it's safer to stay away from church or stay away from their Bible, but OCD is not your friend. And so actually it's a leap of faith to start doing the exposures. And for example, somebody who has stayed out of church because they're worried that in the church sanctuary they're going to shout out a cuss word. OCD is going to say it's safer to stay in the sanctuary or not go to church at all. But what we want to do is we want to say, what is consistent with my true faith, my belief? And that is that I want to get in there into the sanctuary and enjoy that service. And so going into the service is going to be scary. It's going to feel like a risk. And people are oftentimes, if they get into the sanctuary, are going to sit there and then want to put their hand over their mouth or do something to make sure that they're not going to do that, that thing that they fear. But in fact, gradually they need to not only get into the sanctuary, they need to go into the sanctuary, sing, and participate, experiencing that fear that they're going to say something bad. And in fact, it's going to feel rotten for a little while. But the other part is, it's going to feel really good that they're actually doing something that fits with who they are as a person and fits with their religious beliefs. And the more that they do that, the more that they beat the OCD, the better that they will feel about doing more exposures and in fact feel better about their faith. It's pretty common for people with OCD to look at the Bible as a very scary book because they tend to cherry pick and go to verses that are very scary, and then their OCD just runs with it. They'll read verses continually about the unpardonable sin. They'll tend to magically think about the Bible and take it out of context. And what we want to do is kind of remove the OCD lenses. OCD wants to make everything that they read a potential thing to obsess about. And in fact, again, it's very much like prayer. We can either do it in a ritualized way that's very catastrophic and oh no, or we can do it in a manner that's consistent with the belief and practice that they want, and that is to read, and I tell people to read a little bit of scripture, and like the 23rd Psalm, and just read it, take it for what it is, and when OCD starts to really run with it and say, oh no, what if, or this applies to everybody else but not me, and all those things, to be able to understand that their OCD is trying to hijack again, and we're not going to go down that path.